Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are in the home garden today. It is a beautiful day. We are going to get highs of 21 degrees, and if any of you know me, that is full on summer. I cannot cope with temperatures over about 14 degrees, so I am going to be blessed with the weather today. There is a slight forecast for a thunderstorm at 3 o'clock though, which isn't so good, but if it does rain, it means I won't have to run up to the allotment to water anything, which will be a little bit of a blessing. I have hundreds of plants up on my potting station that are only bursting to get out of their containers and into some soil to carry on growing. So today's episode is going to be planting out some containers and my raised pallet collet bed, which I cannot wait to get started. So I will be obviously planting up some of my plants that I started from seed earlier in the season, and I'm going to do some direct sowing as well into that pallet collet bed. We are into the third week of May, and finally the garden is starting to show signs of real growth and that spring finally arrived. I know we're obviously heading towards summer now, but it is finally showing signs that something is growing. The direct sowings of the Mange 2 that I popped in there about 4 weeks ago have all germinated, so I got 100% germination there, which I was really happy with. And the 4 plants that I had started inside a little bit earlier have completely shot up and showing really good signs of growth. So I cannot wait for this little A-frame here to be covered in greenery and the beautiful flowers of the Mange 2 that are in there. And before we get into planting out everything, I wanted to give you a little update on how things are looking in the garden at the minute, because it has really burst into life since the temperatures have warmed up. Now, we have had a small blip in the weather there earlier in the week with the blight warning that we had, but so far everything seems to be showing signs that they are thriving, which makes me so happy. My garlic chives are pretty much all in bloom right now, which is absolutely beautiful. I would love to try and make a chive vinegar with those. I think they look absolutely beautiful. They are so wonderful to pop onto a salad as well and give it a beautiful burst of colour. My cherry tree is looking the healthiest it has looked in so long. I have signs that I might potentially be getting a little cherry harvest, which will be absolutely wonderful, because if you followed me from last year, you'll know I had such a bad time with my cherry tree and cherry aphid completely attacking the tree. So the cherry tree is an absolute joy to see looking this healthy. I had a small overwintering project, which was my Japanese onions. This is a variety called Shin Kinyu, and I'm absolutely over the moon with them. I was really unsure on how to sow them. There wasn't much information on the packet, so I sowed those, I think it was late summer, and from seed. And this is what they're looking like right now. I've given them a couple of feeds, but they are starting to bulb up. Now, I don't know how big they will get. I might have needed to give them a little bit more space, but so far they are looking really healthy, and there are signs that obviously they might bulb up a little bit more. And my strawberries, they have put on so much growth in the last couple of days. I feel like the number of flowers has quadrupled literally in like a day or so. So out of these few little containers here, it looks like I am going to get a nice little strawberry harvest. So in this container is my little volunteer potato. Now, he has put on so much growth, and I do think that this is possibly a Sarpamira is what I think this is. So I have some first earlies left over from planting up at the allotment, so I'm going to put a couple of these in here, and by the time the first earlies are ready, it should be in the same time that the Sarpamira is. Because if I put another Sarpamira in here, this has had like 6 weeks extra growth, and the timings won't be right when I go to harvest them. So I have picked out 2 of the larger ones. The chits are absolutely going crazy on these, but I'm going to pop them in and hopefully they catch up in time with this one that's already in here. I do need to amend the soil on this, so I've got my little helper here with me today. She is so interested in the potatoes. I think she thinks it's a ball and we can play a game. I do have 2 Sarpamira left out of my own saved seed. They are absolutely tiny. I have no idea how well they're going to do, but we're going to plant them up into a 30-litre bucket and see how they go. So I'm just adding some bloodfish and bone to this old compost. In here before was a purple sprout and broccoli. I got 1 flush off of it and nothing else. after that. But I know I mentioned I was actually going to put in the British Queens in here, the second earlies, because of the speed at which they grow. But if we do have a drab summer, I've decided, I've actually changed my mind, I can put the Sarpamira that I have now. They're not that big, they're really quite small, they're only, you know, they're probably under the size you actually want to be planting them. But we'll just pop them in and see how they do. And if there is an early blight that comes this summer, then I can, obviously these will be blight resistant. And look, these might only make more potatoes that are the size for seed potatoes next year. So that's kind of the main reason I'm growing them, because I want to create more saved seed myself. After speaking to everybody at the allotment, they found it really hard to come across these. So if I can even get a bucket that I can share then with the guys at the allotment, I'd be so thrilled. So I put 2 scoops of blood fish and bone into this, and I'm just going to dig right the way down and put them in. That's it, 2 little ones. I'm hopefully they work. I hope so. And that's it. That's the last of my saved seed planted. I don't have any more Sarpamira left, so fingers crossed. And here are some of the bits that I'm going to be planting out into my pallet collar bed. Now, I have not had great success this spring with growing anything in this space. It is ever so slightly shady in the winter time. Obviously, it's about midday now, and you can see that it is in full sun at the minute, but everything that I had sowed in here, I think either got eaten by slugs, because I definitely had carrot germination, but obviously there's nothing to show now. And I did a mass sowing of kind of Asian greens in the top layer, and I have like 1 or 2 plants that are now bolting to actually show you. So I've had not great success with it here. I'm going to see how it goes over the summer after I've planted it up here with you today, and maybe it might mean that in the future I need to obviously redesign it, move it. I'm not too sure, because obviously I do want this space over here for my greenhouse. So we'll have to see how the season goes with this planter here. And the plan for this pallet collar bed is to grow salads on the top, root veggies on the second layer, because I have 4 sort of rows of depth. So it'll be carrots and parsnips, which I'll be direct sowing. And then I have 2 sort of spare beds either side. One is more shadier than the other. So I'll see out of the stuff that I've got here what I think might suit best in these spaces. I have so many things growing. So I'm going to bring you in and show you a little bit closer in detail what's going on inside these trays. So on this tray I have 3 rows of radicchio just along here. I have 3 rows of little gem. I have then some spring onions in the middle. I have 2 rows of beets. One of those is chioggia and one is golden beet. I've had terrible germination with those so far this year, but I have a little bit there to show now, which is lovely. And then I have some spinach in one row, and then I have some silver skin onions there at the very end. So that tray is just bursting at the seams. So I might pop the radicchio in a more shady area, possibly on the sides. And in my next tray I have, sadly, my bolted pak choi, which is a little bit of a shame. I've got some moon red little gem in the middle. I have some normal little gem next to that, and another row of moon gem, and then 2 rows of onions at the very end. So lots of salady things, which is super nice. And then in my row at the back I have a mix of things. So this is a mix of flowers, which I'll pop into my flower bed, but I have some Chinese cabbage on the row on the left. I then have some rocket, which I'll plant out today in this planter in the shadiest spot that I can, so it doesn't bolt. And then I have some, I think these are helichrysums, and then I have some snapdragons, and I have 2 strawberry marigolds at the end. So again, they are thriving and only bursting to get out of their trays. I actually cannot get over how beautiful it is today. There is not even the slightest bit of wind in the atmosphere, so it is super, super hot. It has felt so long since this space has felt this warm, and that's the one thing I absolutely love about this garden. Like, although I don't have like big lawns or a massive space, the unique part of obviously an urban garden with a lot of like brick means that the walls can like absorb all of that heat and then emit it out to the plants, and then you can grow like the nicest warm season crops in like this like mini microclimate. I absolutely love it. I'm absolutely exhausted after planting up that pallet collar. I just think because it's so warm and it's like midday, I just decided to take a little bit of a rest and talk to you about something really, really, really exciting that I have been invited to be involved with by a good friend of mine, Robin. You might know her from Robin Gardens. I've spoken to you about her before. She lives in America and she's very, very kindly sent me a brand new variety of vegetable to try as part of a collaboration grow along. I am so excited to actually sow these. So I'm obsessed with leeks, as you know. I cook with garlic nearly every single day, and she has sent me something similar. It's similar to like a hybrid, so it's been specially bred to be a mix between a leek and a garlic. So she sent me these gorgeous seeds which are called sweet garlic. It is the first year that this has been available for people to actually buy from a company in America called Row 7, and again I'm just so blessed that I have these amazing friends that can share all of these amazing vegetables with me. So it's supposed to be a sweet onion flavour with savoury garlic flavour in one delicious allium, and the whole plant, top to toe, is edible. So I'm going to sow these and I'm going to wish everybody in the grow along the best of luck, and hopefully you all enjoy them. But to me, that is a match made in heaven, garlic and leek in one. I am really, really excited to give these a go. So this seed is actually an F1 hybrid, and what I'll do is I'll pop a link below to Robin's channel where she explains so much in detail about the history of where this comes from, who bred it, and the idea behind it. I believe it took about 10 years to develop this specific variety, so I just think the story is fantastic. There's chefs involved, so it's all about that gardener that likes to obviously cook with their food and is passionate about cooking just as much as they are about gardening. So I just feel like that is just the most nicest thing about this. To maximize the garlicky flavor on these, it does say to harvest them at 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch diameter, and I think they take between 90 and 110 days to grow, so I should have plenty time if I sow them now to get a beautiful harvest. And it recommends on the back of the packet, which I love this, when seed companies do this, they give you little tips on how to cook stuff. It says to saute, grill or roast it, or for the best garlic kick is to slice it and have it raw. And I feel like if all of these 50 seeds germinate, I'll be trying all those cooking varieties because I absolutely love garlic, oniony, leeky flavours. So I'm just going to start them off in my little container here. I have 50 seeds and I really hope all of these germinate. And I think there's something really nice about this as well, where you're able to obviously harvest them whilst they're a little bit smaller, so you actually can get more in a space than you would a typical leek. And the seeds look exactly the same as a standard onion seed. So I'm actually going to sow all of them. So that's my garlics sown. Fingers crossed they all germinate and I get to plant them out and taste them, because I'm really looking forward to that. And I've got a couple of other things that I want to sow. I have some British Queens that I'm going to pop into a 30-litre container. Now I'm going to be using some old compost that's there, and I'm going to amend it with some bloodfish and bone, and just a little experiment, I suppose, just for me, just to see what kind of harvest I get from them. So I'm going to put 4 into the container as usual for the second early variety. I'll put 2 on the bottom layer, 2 on the top layer in kind of like a crisscross sort of pattern, and yeah, amend it with some bloodfish and bone and see how they produce, because if they produce well, it kind of will be a signal to me then that spent compost, although obviously has been depleted a lot in its nutrients, it's still a medium that you can probably amend. I think particularly with container growing is obviously buying in the compost, so if I can find ways to use what I already have and then just amend it to stretch my budget, I absolutely will, because I have at least 10 tomatoes that I need to pot on into new containers and new compost, but I'll have all of that compost left over for next year, because obviously until I get my greenhouse, my tomatoes are going to go in the main growing space. And that is everything I have time for today, so thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye!